On May 7, 2025, history was made inside the sacred walls of Vatican City. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the Archbishop of Manila, was elected as the 267th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church. He chose the name Pope Luis I, becoming the first Asian and first Filipino to ever ascend to the papacy. This was not just a change in leadership, it was a powerful and emotional moment that reflected the growing importance of the Catholic faith in Asia and the developing world. Over 1.3 billion Catholics around the world watched with awe, hope and excitement as Pope Luis I stepped onto the global stage, his face humble yet filled with quiet strength. His election carried not only deep symbolic meaning, but also real hope for renewal and transformation within the Church. Born in 1957 in Manila, Luis Antonio Tagle, lovingly called Cheito by those close to him, was known for his kindness, compassion, and closeness to the people. His path to the papacy was not one of wealth or power, but of humility and service. He grew up witnessing both the vibrant culture of the Philippines and the painful poverty faced by many of its people. From a young age, these experiences shaped his heart and deepened his commitment to justice and charity. As a parish priest in Imus, Cavite, he worked closely with poor families, visited the sick, comforted the grieving, and celebrated life with his community. He never sought fame or status. Instead, he focused on bringing light into the lives of those around him. His work with the poor in areas like Tondo, Manila, one of the most impoverished and densely populated districts, made him a beloved figure. He didn't just serve the people from a distance, he lived among them, listened to them, and walked with them through their struggles. These experiences gave him deep insight into the daily lives of ordinary people. His concern wasn't only for Catholics. His message of compassion and understanding touched people from all backgrounds. Many saw him not just as a religious leader, but as a true friend and advocate for the voiceless. Tagle's leadership was rooted in love, humility, and deep theological understanding. He earned international respect as a scholar and speaker. His ability to connect deeply with others and speak plainly about important issues made him a bridge between tradition and modernity. He believed strongly in dialogue between faiths and worked tirelessly to promote peace and mutual understanding. His leadership style was inclusive and focused on healing divisions, whether within the Church or in the broader world. In 2012, Pope Benedict XVI appointed him a cardinal, recognizing his outstanding contributions to the Church. This elevated him onto the global Catholic stage. Many noticed his calm wisdom, his approachable nature, and his vision of a church that listens and embraces. In 2019, Pope Francis appointed him as the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples. This role placed him at the heart of the Church's missionary efforts, and he used it to emphasize inclusion, cultural respect, and care for the marginalized. When Pope Francis passed away in April 2025, the world mourned the end of a transformative papacy. Pope Francis had brought great compassion and openness to the Church, and his passing left many wondering who could carry forward his legacy. The conclave that followed was the largest in history. Cardinals from every continent gathered to choose the next spiritual leader of the world's Catholics. They chose not only a man of faith, but a man of the people. When white smoke rose from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, all eyes turned to St. Peter's Square. A sea of people had gathered, representing every race and nation. The bells of St. Peter's Basilica rang out in celebration, their sound filling the sky. Then, from the balcony, Cardinal Jean-Claude Hollerich, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, stepped forward and announced in Latin, "Habemus Papam." We have a pope. The name that followed was new to the papacy, Pope Luis. As he stepped forward, dressed in simple white robes, the crowd fell silent. His smile, warm and genuine, was met with a roar of joy and cheers that could be heard across Rome and beyond. The coronation of Pope Luis I was a deeply moving event. The ceremony began with the traditional Mass of inauguration inside St. Peter's Basilica. The sacred space was alive with color and light. Cardinals, bishops, and priests from all parts of the world took part in the rituals. The scent of incense floated through the air, and the choir's heavenly voices filled the dome. In front of the altar, the symbols of papal authority were presented. The pallium, a white woolen cloth, was placed over his shoulders, signifying his role as shepherd. The ring of the fisherman, engraved with the image of St. Peter, was gently slipped onto his finger, representing his role as successor to the first pope. Cardinals approached him one by one, bowing in respect and pledging their loyalty. Pope Louis I looked each of them in the eye, nodded kindly, and offered his blessing. This was not just tradition, it was a powerful symbol of unity and mutual commitment. When he finally spoke to the world, his words were simple yet powerful. He called for peace, healing, and unity. He reminded everyone that the Church exists not for itself, but for the world. It must be a place of welcome, of compassion, and of hope. As news of his election spread, the Philippines erupted with joy. In cities and villages, people gathered in churches and public squares to celebrate. Many wept with happiness. At Quiapo Church, one of Manila's most well-known places of worship, thousands gathered in prayer. Some lit candles, others sang hymns. The entire nation felt pride and excitement. Images of Pope Louis I appeared on walls in homes and across television screens. Streets filled with processions. Banners, flowers, and statues of saints were carried through towns. Drums beat joyfully. Children danced. It was not just a celebration of a Filipino pope. It was a celebration of faith. But the joy did not stop in the Philippines. Around the world, the reaction was overwhelming. In cities like New York, Paris, Lagos, and Tokyo, Catholics and non-Catholics alike shared the moment. Social media was flooded with pictures, prayers, and messages of congratulations. News headlines everywhere called it a historic moment and a new dawn for the Church. In Asia especially, where the Catholic population continues to grow, Pope Louis's election was seen as a major milestone. In places like Vietnam, India, Indonesia, and East Timor, people gathered in churches to celebrate. Pope Louis was not just a Filipino success story, he was a symbol of a more inclusive and global church. In his first homily as Pope, Louis I spoke of love, service, and responsibility. He stressed the need to care for the poor, the forgotten, and the earth itself. He asked everyone to build bridges, not walls. He urged Catholics to be examples of peace in a world torn by war and division. He talked about protecting creation and working together for a just world. He encouraged the Church to listen more, judge less, and act with mercy. His voice, calm but clear, echoed the hope of billions. This papacy is already being seen as one of great promise. Pope Louis I brings with him not only deep faith, but also lived experience among the poor, strong academic knowledge, and global respect. He understands the modern world, he knows its challenges and its possibilities. He stands for a church that is close to its people, that adapts to change without losing its soul. As he begins this journey, Pope Louis I carries not just the hopes of Catholics, but the attention of the world. Many believe his leadership will inspire renewal and change. He has the potential to bring healing to a church that has faced many wounds. With his smile, his kindness, and his courage, he reminds people that leadership does not require power but service, that greatness is found in humility. Pope Louis IX's election is more than a chapter in church history. It is a turning point, a message that the Church belongs to all, no matter their race, language, or place of birth. It is a reminder that faith continues to grow in every corner of the earth and that hope is never far away. As the bells of St. Peter's rang out on May 7th, they did not only announce a new pope, they announced a new beginning, a beginning filled with faith, love, and light.